So, here we go. Game number 3 of the 4th series. A lot of pressure up on the line, and everything is getting crazy tense. So I'll explain why after I've introduced these two players. Spawning down in the bottom right hand position as the red Zerg player representing Team Acer, it's ParanOid. And his opponent up in the top left, the yellow Terran representing Missing in Action, it's Frozz. Game number 1 went to ParanOid. He played it pretty cool. Frozz decided against getting any kind of splash damage. Game number 2 though, he went in with a lovely timing push on Deadless Point. ParanOid went Roach Hydra and it didn't really work out, and therefore we saw some pretty cool times. Leveled it out 1-1. Now what's on the line here? 3rd place in the ESL Euro Series. 1,000 euros. Everything's pretty cool. But anyway, this is all pretty cool. I'm really hoping that we get to see the 5th game. And that's not because I don't want ParanOid to win. It's just because the 5th series is going to be Starbuck up against Nurtio. Starbuck was doing a pretty cool time up against Scarlet in the 1st series. So I'd love to see what he does against Nurtio. So far on Heavyweight, we're seeing Frozz go for that gas early once again. Anyone watching the VOD, so I'm just fixing something in the chat quickly. Modding someone up nice and fast. And then we should be pretty cool. Just a couple of trolls getting in there. But yeah, this is all looking fairly normal. One waiting to see is whether we get a Reaper out. There is about to be that 50 gas, no Marine side, so it should be a Reaper opening. There we go. Great map for Reapers. And the reason that it is such an amazing position is just because of the amount of cliff area. Around here, you can just get straight across. Nice and easy. Other than that, we're just seeing straight away spawning pool come down after a hatch first. So a very normal opening for the time being. So this is all a fairly normal game for the time being. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, the Reaper unlikely to do too much damage. There's a 2nd Reaper coming out, and that means that quite likely we're going to see a nice little time of 2 Hellion follow-up, because 4 Hellions, actually rather, coming down. 2 Reapers, 4 Hellions can give Queens a bit of a hard time, and generally it's going to be a little bit of a tough, awkward moment. Other than that, drones taking a little bit of damage. One drone actually could go down here. Going to become an extractor. The Zergling's saving. Boy, that was close. But, of course, no drone dreams of growing up to be an extractor. Having gas channeled through it all day, all night. That'd be pretty tough. But anyway, still, we have some fairly cool times at the moment. Just the 1 Reaper. The 2nd Reaper should be making his way across. Out comes the factory and that reactor, so it's all looking relatively okay. These Zerglings taking a little bit of damage for the moment, and yeah, this is pretty much cool. As long as these 2 Reapers stay up, that's the critical thing. Because if they take any more damage, it's gonna be, well, if they go down, that's where you run into some absolutely massive problems, because you need these to tank up the Queen hits really fast. And if you don't have those tank up the Queen hits and just the damage output, then actually the Hellions, the 4 Hellions, don't do too much. And that's why you've got to keep them alive. They regenerate health, and that's why they're able to tank up so much damage. Anyway, the Queens now starting to chip away at them. The Reapers backing out. They're playing it cautiously. The first 2 Hellions are now in production. They're going to come and join their buddies. No Wolof at the front, and everything looking pretty cool. Of course, I love these new emblems. For anyone who hasn't seen them yet, they look awesome. Wish everyone would use them because they are beautiful. Anyway, all in all, this is still looking fairly promising for both sides. Starport coming down, so we will be getting a Banshee follow-up for this. The Banshee follow-up can be very potent. If you can get in, and on a map like Heavyweight where there's a lot of dead space, you can just come in and start picking away at drones. So this is all looking pretty nice at the moment. Roach also coming down. Everything looking pretty good. May get a couple of evolution chambers just to make a tight wall off where the 2 Queens can complete it, just to be ultra safe from this. And while things are going, this is still looking alright. Down come the Evolution Chambers, as expected. The Queen's just trying to force this back, prioritizing the Hellions, because obviously they don't heal up. But a lot of damage coming out. We can see that Queen already taken to under half health now. All in all, tough times. Still coming through. The second Evolution Chamber completing up. The Queens can now block that off to make sure the Hellions and those Reapers can't get through. Rotoron also nearly finished, so that's going to aid in this defense. And, well, for the most part, this is all looking pretty cool. Over on the other side of the map, first Banshee is making its way across, the second one queued up, but the Hellions dealing some decent damage here. The first Queen will get transfused, just getting enough energy in time. That's pretty awesome for ParanOid. Still though, we see Frozz trying to get some more damage done, trying to push through Killer Queen, but unable to do so at the moment. That's frustrating for him. But the Banshee making its way forward. For the moment, this is unbeknown to ParanOid. ParanOid though, 4 Queens, so he's still got a Queen up here in the main base, but no detection, no lair, no option to make an Overseer. Spores are the only detection available. In come the Banshee now, or Banshee for the moment, and, well, some drones are unfortunately going to die. The Queen not getting to work yet, but this is what Frozz was aiming for, to get some guaranteed harassment achieved. Very important. The Queen now taking a little bit of damage. Still no detection. Spore Crawlers getting made. Queen's gonna actually start going down. There's not enough energy for a transfuse on any of them. 2 Queens killed. A couple more drones could go down. 3 Queens are gonna die. The 4th one could even get picked off before that Spore finished, but it's hugging up so super close. More Spores also coming down. We've got the Reapers and Hellions still poking about, but look at this counterattack about to come into action for ParanOid. The natural base getting evacuated, and quite rightly so. There isn't really enough to defend this. The Banshee, one about to pop out, but the other 2 across the map not able to get back in time. The repair on this wall has to be pretty intense. Could be problems right now for Frozz. He's pulling everything to try and hold this. The Banshee will eventually be able to start taking out some damage. The worker count tied 40 apiece at the moment. And with everything, this is looking pretty tough for Frozz at the moment. ParanOid dealing some great damage with this counter-attack. He's taking a lot back at home, but the Lings, the Roaches, taking out everything they can. The Banshee slowly working through it all. Back over at ParanOid's base though, the Hellions have breached. We've got a lot of Evolution Chambers coming down, just trying to block up any way that the Hellions can get through. Only 5 SCVs are currently remaining. 3 still left on the field, and this is where things get tough up against 35 drones. Yes, mules are good, but I'm just not sure they're this good. That Banshee unfortunately going to get taken down, but it's going to be so ridiculously tough, because with so few SCVs, I really struggle to see what Frozz can do, but I'm hoping for the sake of that 5th series that he can find a way to make this work. Spire coming down, that hard counters the Banshee. There's no way for the Banshee to deal with those Mutalisks. There's no Marines down. There's not enough minerals for Frozz to do that. Frozz is under so much pressure at the moment. He's got to deal critical damage to ParanOid before that Spire completes, because even a couple of Mutalisks could almost end things out. Still though, in come the Hellions. They're going to try and deal some more damage. The Banshee making their way through. 1 Spore Crawler down at that 3rd. The 3rd base is going to die. It's on the wrong side, so that gets picked off nice and neatly. There's 1 Queen down. Spore Crawler still moving. A 2nd Queen now in position 2. These Banshee need to do some more damage. There's not been enough done yet. The worker kill count 40 to 30. So much coming down. Banshee cloak up, staying out of range of the Spore Crawler, which of course grants detection, but Overseer is getting more. Now the lair is finished. We do see a couple more drones trying to get picked off, and the drones have got to deplete in number significantly more. The SCV count slowly creeping up. The mules really helping with that, but there's only so much mules can do. A couple of Roaches just out on their lonesome. The Banshee though going down. Not that it matters them dying now, since the Spire is already on its way down. This is looking very good for ParanOid. Looking very, very good for Acer, potentially about to take 3rd place in the ESL Euro Series and that 1,000 euros. But it's not all over yet. Frozz, he's slowly bringing it back. He's trying everything he can. He's getting the double mech upgrades because they benefit air, but he must have seen the Spire. He must have seen it. He has. He knows it's building. He knows that he's only got so much time. Admittedly, there won't be too many units as of yet, too many Mutalisks, and that's simply because there's no gas. There's only 4 extractors on the Zerg side, so there's not that much coming through, but the Mutalisks are still threatening because there's only missile turrets for anti-air and this 1 Marine. Missile turret is now done though, and a Thor is also out, so that Thor just popped in the nick of time. Gonna help deter the Mutalisks. 1 Thor can be magic box, but it'll need more than a couple of Mutalisks to be able to do that. 3rd base getting retaken, as well as a 4th coming down now for ParanOid. ParanOid's drone count only at 43, so this is a very hard-fought game. So much harassment on both sides, lots of losses, and somehow Frozz is still bringing this back. Losing those SCVs wasn't too extreme for him, even though he lost so many. It was tough. He's definitely fighting an uphill battle now. But look at this. ParanOid is now starting roach production, knowing that there's a lot of Thors going to be coming out. He knows it's mech, it's what he's seen at the moment from Frozz, and since he's going mech and he knows there's Mutalisks out, ParanOid can assume that there's going to be a significant number of Thors and not tanks. Therefore, roaches are a good option. Roaches against Thors are great, they're only bad against tanks. Unfortunately, Frozz is kind of playing a bit of a mind game. He's only got a single Thor out and is now producing nothing but siege tanks, expecting ParanOid to expect there'd only be Thors, expecting, yeah, you get the point. But there's still the Mutalisks, and I just don't know how he's going to deal with them. The Mutal count is only at 7, but it's still 7 Mutalisks, which only 1 Thor there to deal with. The SCV count slowly creeping higher, the mules still coming down. Frozz just battling his way as hard as possible, trying to make this work. Everything reliant on him. He has to win this game for missing in action to have a chance of winning or getting to 3rd place in the ESL Euro Series. If he loses this, that's it. It's Acer, 3rd place. They get 1,000 euros. These Mutalisks still getting some nice damage. They are clumping up a bit. One getting very low. The Viking now out, but 1 Viking isn't too threatening. Frozz is still a long way behind. He's down by, well, he's half his opponent's supply. But he's trying. Getting up a mech force could very well be his best option in this position, because mech, it's immobile, but it can tank up a hell of a load of damage. And like, it can hold a position very nicely. There are 2 Thors now, which makes those Mutalisks a little bit more vulnerable, but still more pressure gonna be coming. We've got the roaches coming in. Mech is only scary in terms of an aggressive force once it hits a lot higher supply than this. But Frozz, he knows that his opponent is going to be doing so much and taking all the bases. He knows that there's 4 bases up already, and so therefore he feels there's some hope in moving out. It's kind of his only option. Unfortunately, there's a good number of roaches ready to counterattack. This could very well kill off the reinforcements coming through, and this is really not what Frozz would have wanted. The Thor going to go straight down. There's no wall off in the main, and if these roaches are just going to do so much damage in the base race, there's so many roaches back at home. Frozz, though, he's going for the Banshee. They're trying to pick off these roaches, but GG, congrats. ParanOid takes the series 2-1, and Acer are the 3rd place in the ESL Euro Series. They win 1,000 euros, and that means good times for them. Of course, this was the Raid Call ESL Euro Series, and congratulations to Acer for getting 3rd.